Yes, hello everyone. Following the previous video released on the basic introduction to GIS, today we are going to look at how we can be able to deal with vector data within QGIS software. So previously we gave a very detailed introduction to the software, and we talked about the data sets that are used within the software or the kind of data that it deals with. So now we are going more into detail of each kind of data that is being dealt with. So in this case we are going to look at vector data. So let's get started. So this is the outline of what we are going to look at. One, we are going to see how we can be able to add vector data. Two, we are going to look at how we can be able to manipulate the data that we add. 3, we shall be able to query out the data or retrieve certain aspects or certain information within our data that we shall be adding. So let's go to the software. So hoping that you open the software, here we come. So there are various ways in which you can be able to add data. One, we have an option of browsing. Browse to where you have your data. So before bringing into the software our data sets, you know what vector data is. It's just the representation. It's a data model that represents the real world phenomena in form of points, lines and polygons. So we are going to deal with all those types. We are going to deal with point data, we are going to deal with linear features, we are going to deal with polygons. So let's start with point data. So one way you can use this browser panel, you browse to your drive where you have the data, then you bring your data. And one, you need to make sure that your data is saved in a CSV format. Put it in CSV, then come and drag it, put it there. But now there is when you can right click this, then you go to properties. So you're going to realize, like, within this kind of data here, you cannot be able to see anything like points or whatever on the within our map view. So what do we do there? That is question number one that you should ask yourself. So my first question will be, how can you be able to add that kind of information in a way that here you can be able to see points? Get? So this is option number one in which you can be able to add data. So let me first remove this. We shall be able to display them within the map view. So option number two, we have to come to layers, then go to add layer, go to delimited, and this option will be now adding delimited text layer, because in this case we are dealing with CSV, which will be now comma delimited. So click there. Now here is where we will browse for the file where you have your data. Now we go and select our file that has our point data. After selecting it, you see it can be able to display information within this kind of table with these as our headers: place of birth, gender, year of birth, northern, eastern, district and parish. So in this case look at this. Things that you need to be keen about is they are like, one, you need to set, if it is a CSV file, look at this kind of format. You need to check this CSV comma separated value. If it is another format, then you deal with it accordingly, but for this case we are dealing with CSV, so that's why we select CSV, and you can be able to see our data, because when you select custom delimiters, you see how your data is, and this is not present to us. So select CSV. So after selecting CSV, you come to here to geometry definition. Geometry definition is a point where you have to choose which field or which column goes for easting, which column goes for northing, or which column goes for latitude, which column goes for longitude, because it is not a must that each and every time you bring your point data inside here, they are going to be automatically recognized as easting and northing. You may find it is here in the northings one, so you have to be very keen. Yeah, so that means you have to select a field accordingly. X represents easting, Y represents northing. So after that, we can be able to say okay. So when you say okay, they require you to define the coordinate system or the coordinate reference system that you used while picking that kind of data. So in this case, this data was picked in ARC 1960, UTM 36, zone 36 north. So after selecting that, our data is shown up here. Hope that is clear. Hope that is clear now. So after that, so basically let's first deal with the addition of that kind of data. So if you want to look at the properties, you want to look at which field has which, so you can just come and open, you right click there on the layer, you right click on the layer, then and go to attribute table. So that means you can be able to see that this kind of facility is here. This person was born here at this particular position in this district, and the good thing with this kind of software, it is interactive in a way that whatever you choose in the attribute table is selected in the map view. So now I selected this first one, but you can be able to see already that it is highlighted here as red, as yellow. This is what I'm talking about. These others are in this default color, but this is red. Why? Because it has been selected here. So basically that is how you see I've selected the second one, now this is selected. So basically that is it. Or you can be able to use different tools like this is an identify tool, whereby you can use it and click on this kind of point, then you can be able to see the various attributes of this kind of position or point. This is the attribute data of that particular point alone. So that is it for point data. So if you want to add now some other kind of data, which is polygon, now you come, because that is vector data, so you come to add the vector layer, then here source type, it is a file, we are just looking for that particular file, it is a shape file. But now, as I told you, QGIS also supports databases like PostgreSQL, which has an extension of PostGIS. So if you have, for example, you see I've been dealing with this, so that's why there is this kind of already this database selected, but we are not going to use that for now. Let's look for a file. So you browse to where the file is, which in this case is going to be let's look for districts in Uganda, which is here. So select it, then say open. So when you say open, this is the shape, this is the what, the shape file. But now you cannot see anything because why? Because of the scale. This scale is too much, it is zoomed. This is a large scale. So for us to be able to see that kind of data, we need to go to small scale. So you can be able to select that. You see, as the scale reduces, the more you can be able to see that. But there's another way. If you want to see your data very well, you can come and click here, zoom full. You can be able to get to your data. So this is the polygon kind of thing. They are not points, they are not lines, but they are polygons, which are districts now. So now let's add linear data. So you remember, you can be able to also add this kind of data from here, from this browser panel, where you can go there, go to data sets, go to vector data, then you can be able to look for the district, which is UG districts, which is here. You can be able to also add it, which is the same thing. So there are various ways you can use to kill a rat. So let's remove that. So now let's add loads. Now I'm just going to drag and drop, just using this browser panel. But still, with that, you can use this kind of vector. You choose your load. Let's say I'm choosing these ones, and open. Then you add also. They can also come. You see? Yeah, this is there. Our layer is there. But we don't want to deal with a lot of data, because that is already redundant. We have same data sets, so let's just work with these. So now we've managed to add CSV, which is point data. We've managed to add polygons and lines. So now what we are going to do is to look at this section is done, so we have to look at how to manipulate this kind of data, and finally how to query. So manipulation of this data, one, I'm going to deal with this just on this kind of, on the polygon kind of thing, the polygon data set. So now, one, if you look at these districts, all of them, they have the same color, so you can be confused in a way or the other. Or you might not like this kind of thing, whereby you want each district having its own color, or you want to label the districts. So how can we be able to do that? So let's manipulate our data now. So it's just around playing with the data, as simple as that. So you go to property, right click on that layer, go to properties. So after going to properties, what I'm going to first do, let's first label them. Come to labels. Now here they're saying no labels, but now there's a drop down, so click there, show labels for this layer. That's what we are going to select. So now here, how do you want to label your data set? So click on the drop down. Is it you want to label it with object ID or with this kind of a field called dist? That field of dist, you can see the data type here, ABC. It is a text, but these are numbers. Object ID, that is like kind of a surrogate key in database, which is just generated automatically by the software, so that those different features can be distinguished by the software. So now let's select dist, because it is a text. It is the type of text which has names of districts. So after selecting that, now here let's first say apply. You see, the districts are now labeled. But now someone can be like, I want to label my districts in a way that the way texts are inserted inside, I want them to bend in a certain way. So you can be able to manipulate all that within this section of placement. So offset from centroid, but someone can be like, I want it to be placed around the perimeter. So when you say that and apply, you see what happens. It is in another kind of format. So just play around that and see what can be good for you. But for this kind of tutorials, use offset from the centroid, then apply. So okay, so the labeling bit is done. So next we want to change we need to have different colors for different districts. So to be able to do that, go back to properties. So when you go to properties, come to, you see, when you come to style, is this single symbol. This color is the same as this, so this is where we can be able to dictate what we need. So in this case, we are going to use categorized, so which is here, categorized. So that categorized thing that we are going to use is, what do you want to categorize? I want to categorize districts basing on this kind of field. I want to use a district column whereby each district name is going to be having its own color on the legend. So now I can be let me select random colors. Let me select this spectrum. So when you select that, say classify. So when you say classify, it selects them, and it has already given different districts different colors. So you say apply. You see, this is what we are talking about. That's how beautiful your map is. So basically, yeah, we can be able to work with this, or we can change this and say maybe we want random colors. You see, say apply and okay. So this is the kind of manipulation we are talking about. So in this case, yeah, the manipulation bit is done. So querying, let's run just a simple query in this kind of data. So for you to be able to run a simple query, let's first open the attribute table. Then after opening the attribute table, just come on this select features using a particular expression. So in this case, we want to select a district whose name that is called maybe Kampala. So basing on the fields that we have, that's where we do what we make our selections from. If I had population data, I would say I'm searching for a district which has a population that is above this, but in this case we only have two fields, object ID and district. So that's what we do. So you come, and here we have fields. You have to come to fields and values, then you double click on the layer on the field that you want to use, then that is the field. So this, I want to select a field. I want to select a district whose name is called Kampala. So for you to be able to do that, you will select that and say it is equal to Kampala. But with this, if you select this, it should be able to show you something. If we say select this, we have to first see, is it going to show us something? Did it select Kampala? Because we have Kampala here. And for us to be able to know that it was selected, it must be yellow. Yellow is the default color for selected layers, but it is not yellow. So that means it has not been selected. So what we do now, it is come back to fields, district is equal to, then put this, because it is a what? It is a text. So put that Kampala, then select features, close. Still it is still, let me see. Let's first check this is Wakiso. Wakiso is yellow, but for us to be able to know that it is selected, we can see it from this side. If it is selected, we can be able to see that it is selected from this side. Kampala is here, meaning it is not yet selected. So come expression builder, district is equal to Kampala, then select that. You see here it has been selected. So like I told you, this software is interactive. If we go to the map itself, it will be selected as yellow. You see, this is what I'm talking about. Kampala is now selected as yellow. So basically that is the kind of querying, in case you want to know a certain district but you're not seeing it there, but you know the certain attribute that you want to select basing on, you can do that. So thank you so much for watching, and you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. Bye bye.